Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to your channel. Uh, Today we are going to talk about float data type in Python. Float data type in Python. Okay, so what does float means, or what is float data type in Python? So float data type is basically used to represent. It basically used to represent floating point values. Now, what is floating point values? We can say decimal values, something like 1.234, 23.4557, etc. Okay, so float data type is basically used to represent floating point values or decimal values in Python. Okay, let's see an example. For example, f is equal to 1.234. Okay, let's print it. Let's print it. See, all clear? This is the way how we store a floating point value in a variable. So now let's move further. Uh, we can also uh, represent floating point value in exponential form. Okay, we can also represent the floating point values in exponential form. Okay, or we can say more specifically scientific form. Okay, scientific form. Let's take an example. For example, f is equal to 1.2e3. Okay, 1.2e3. Let's print it. Print f. Right, let's run it. Okay, output will be 1200. One thing we should note is that e can be small, e can be capital. There will be no issue whether it is small or capital. We are getting the same output, as you can see. Okay, but the main advantage of exponential form, the main advantage of exponential form is that we can represent big values in less memory, in in less memory. Okay, big values in less memory. That is the advantage of using scientific form or exponential form. Okay, now one, you can say one rule which you should keep in mind is that we can represent int values in decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal forms, but we can represent float values only by using decimal form. There is no other forms like binary, octal or hexadecimal. Okay, so in float, no binary, hexadecimal or octal form. Okay, we can only use decimal form values. All right, let's try to store say binary value 11.01. Okay, let's run it. We are getting an error. What is the error? Invalid syntax. Okay, we cannot store the values other than decimal form values. Okay, so this is all about float data type in Python. Float data type in Python. It is basically floating point values or decimal values. Okay, and we can also store the values in exponential or scientific form. It helps to store big values in less memory. Okay, and other than decimal form, we cannot store any other form in float values. For example, we cannot store binary form or hexadecimal form or octal form values in the float float variable. All right, so thank you. Like, share and subscribe the channel.